All right. Well, hello everyone. This is call it a pop-up broadcast, if you will, an unannounced introduction into the new season of RV Life Pro product training. We are testing new equipment, new software, new lighting, new facility, and trying to get some of the bugs out and figure out what things we need to change um, to make this broadcast work. Right now, we're streaming live streaming live to both the RV Life YouTube channel and the RV Life Facebook page. Our goal is to have these sessions ideally once a week during the busiest part of the year. It may come down to every 2 weeks, depending on questions and participation. Uh, we've got a lot of catching up to do. Those of you that are already RV Life Pro users, customers, members, and you use the software, you've seen RV Trip Wizard. You've seen some big changes. We've seen some tweaks to the RV Life app recently, and so there'll be a ton to talk about. Uh, Today is more about putting the word out there and letting people know, letting you guys know we're here. We're gonna be here and try to be here regularly. My goal is to try to do this every Wednesday about 11 a.m. I kind of jumped the gun today because Central Time, excuse me. But I kind of jumped the gun today. I wanted to get some things in and get started and be talking about this a little bit. And we want to have some training. We've got a few challenges here. Like every popular campground, we have a lovely train that goes screaming by periodically. I'm currently using these AirPod noise canceling headset, and I did some testing, and they seem to drown out the train pretty well and the air conditioner. So it's not unlike being in your camper trying to talk on a conference call or do a YouTube show, but we have those same challenges. What we don't have are other people working in other rooms, dogs barking, Amazon guys and UPS gals coming to the door, and things like that. So the new facility here in our office here in the DFW area should do well. Um, we're going with the green screen right now to keep a consistent background and just make it easier to see things. Um, I've got some new software we're trying out. We've got a backup Yeti microphone in case things go sideways with the AirPods or they run out of battery power. Um, we are what else have we got going on? And we're going to be able, of course, to share some screens. We'll share the RV Trip Wizard screen with you and go over some tips and tricks and answer your questions. One of the things we're really looking for, most of you will see this broadcast after it's already passed, and that's okay for now. We're going to go back and watch it and make sure things are functioning the way we intend them to be. Um, Already a little worried about the glare from the glasses, but for the most part, I will be a smaller presence on the screen when the software kind of takes up the screen as we go over some things that we want to test and try. So I'm not overly concerned about that yet. But what we want to see from you is to post some comments about the not s- I suppose about the video as well. If you see some severe quality issues and things we need to know about. But we're also going to want to know what you need to know. What questions do you have about RV Life Pro and about using it and what it entails? Now, I've got this handy little banner I'll show here. This just kind of reminds everybody what RV Life includes. We have added some additional features to that. Should the train become unbearable, I actually have a ticker for that too. And we got a little train break here, and then I'll just go to the comments and maybe look at some questions when the if the train comes by and becomes crazy. But so far, I'm not too worried about that one. So we'll hide that for now, and we'll just show the ticker here for a minute or two. Um, I'll be able to pull up, of course, the RV Trip Wizard screen. If I go ahead and let's give that a shot real quick. We're going to share my Trip Wizard window, and then I'm going to pull it up like so. So that's not too bad. And I can go full screen. We've got a couple of different views here that we can share with this. And in fact, let's knock this down. We've got all kinds of gadgets here to play with. And I don't want to get too hung up in the gadgets, but this is probably the view that most of you are going to see as we work through questions and Q&A on RV Trip Wizard, RV Life Trip Wizard, excuse me, part of RV Life Pro. The other thing that we'll be able to do here, if we stop that, is we can actually look. Let me make sure my phone is awake, and we can show you the mobile app as well. The mobile app is an integral part of RV Life Pro, and there you go. That's not too shabby there. And we can see that as I do things with that, go to my trips, pull up trips, etc. So we've got that capability there to demo that app. Let's stop that. Real happy with the new software we're using. For those that are curious, we're using StreamYard this time around. One of the things it gives me the advantage to do is to hide me completely and not lose the audio. Oh, look at that. Here comes a train. So I can just barely hear it. So we're going to see how that pans out. And this is, again, this is a fairly a fishing expedition as much as anything. But more importantly, we feel like this type of education that we're going to be able to do is valuable. We've got an amazing support team that works almost all hours of the day and night. We've got our early risers and our night owls, and we've got a good portion of them are RVers that are working on the road. They're all over the country, and they're answering those support emails all the time. So this is really to just supplement that, try to give some live demonstrations for things that people are struggling with and have questions about. Um, I encourage everyone, and I'm going to pull this back up again, the um, the RV Life Trip Wizard. Let's pull that screen back up. Anyone that has used RV Life Trip Wizard and has not yet uh, checked out a couple of these new videos, and I say they're new, we had them done late last year. There's a little bit of nuance that's changed since then, but if I bring that up, if you'll click on your little people avatar here in the upper right hand corner and go to help, not so much this videos tab right here, but down here the video support, this will take you specifically to the RV Life Trip Wizard YouTube channel. And then these first 5 videos are very short, succinct, professionally done videos that will just save hours off your learning curve and make a big difference in you using RV Life Trip Wizard. We've got another one here that's real helpful with the fuel. And of course, a lot of these we'll be getting a refresh as we've changed the interface slightly. Not enough to render those videos irrelevant, however. The danger here is me closing the wrong window and just blowing this broadcast up. So let's hope I don't do that. So that looks good, and we'll stop sharing that screen and come back here. We've seen some new features get added. Those of you that are regular customers and use RV Trip Wizard a bunch, you've seen some things be added as our development team. And just to give you a peek behind the curtain, we've got a bunch of folks. I don't know if it's in the dozen range, perhaps, maybe. I don't quote me on that, but they're constantly listening to our customers. They're reviewing the product, the procedures, and going through and rewriting code and tweaking and dialing things in just to continue to make RV Life Trip Wizard the best tool available. The same with the app that accompanies it. I'm just looking at some of my notes here just to see if there's anything I really wanted to cover today. Obviously today, if anybody's out there and wanted to post a question, I'd entertain that. I'm not seeing any come in, but again, with no advance warning. My goal here is that if I go back to playback and this looks okay and it seems all right, we'll put out an announcement and do a regular broadcast at a specific announced time, and then try to stick with that for a while, just to give everyone a chance to get on board and ask the questions they want to ask. We know that even when we first started doing this, we took a bit of time off of COVID during COVID for some of the reasons I mentioned. Just trying to be able to broadcast at home was all but impossible. And we got back into the office here, and we're doing it again. And even those videos we did before that, were just really well received, and people really want the additional education. So we talked to a bunch of folks at not only the Tampa RV show. We had we had some folks up at the Seattle RV show recently here in February. Shout out to Janet and Dan and Patty, and then recently, just last weekend, we did a little small show here in DFW for uh, locally that I went to, and just talk to some people and say, hey, what's of value to you? What can we do to make things easier for you? So we know that these things are good and they work. Um, I think that's it uh, from the perspective of kind of doing this season preview. I guess it's like a season premiere or a teaser you'd see for a new show or a new movie or something like that. That's all this is a teaser to say, hey, we're back, better than ever. Assuming the technology lives up to its claims and we don't have any technical issues here when I go to playback. My goal is to do this again next Wednesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time. And really, all my Wednesdays are clear. That is my goal. And if I come back again, this looks good, we'll even try to add this to an email or a couple of Facebook posts or something where you can see these videos and be a part and participate in them. Again, just as to remind folks jumping into this was not announced. That was kind of the idea. We didn't want to let 50, 10, 20, 50, 100,000 people know we're doing a video and then it have problems. So once I go back and look at this, we'll make a more formal announcement. But I will be looking at the comments, and if if you have questions and things you want to talk about at the next show, uh, then leave those comments. Ask your questions. What do you need to learn? What do you need to know? What do you need to see that you're not getting right now that's going to help you use this better? So um, I look forward to seeing that. And I think that's it. That's a wrap. Let me clear up some of these banners and things, just do a little bit of house cleaning here. Some of this is just getting used to the there we go. So my name's Pat Buchanan. I'm with RV Life, and getting used to some of the tools here. I'm kind of excited about these. This is a real easy to use. So if it works well, we'll all be batting 1,000. So that's it. That's a wrap, and I look forward to seeing your comments and questions. And again, expect to be here again at 11 o'clock next Wednesday, barring any problems with the broadcast. So thank you very much. Bye.